The film opens on a bleak, near-future reality where humanity is on the absolute brink of collapse. A young couple, Ava and Michael, sit trapped in a suffocating, motionless line of cars at a gas station, waiting for fuel that may never come. Suddenly, the entire power grid blinks out, plunging the city into a terrifying, pitch-black darkness. This is not a temporary blackout, it is a symptom of a dying planet. Their frantic conversation in the dark reveals that Earth has nearly exhausted its energy resources, and within 5 short years, the world will have no electricity at all. In a desperate, final bid to save humanity from total extinction, an international coalition of top scientists and astronauts is assembled to board a massive space station named Cloverfield. Orbiting high above the dying Earth, their mission is to stabilize the Shepard particle accelerator, a highly experimental device capable of generating limitless, renewable energy. Among the chosen crew is Ava, a brilliant engineer carrying a heavy burden of guilt. Years prior, she lost her young children in a tragic house fire. Torn between her duty to save the world and the agonizing fear of leaving her husband alone, she tries to back out. But Michael convinces her to go, whispering, "You are not just saving me, but the entire world." The narrative shifts to the Cloverfield station, where 2 years of agonizing, repeated failures have brought the 7-member international crew to their absolute breaking point. They are down to their final 3 attempts to fire the accelerator before running out of specialized test fuel. Tensions flare into violent arguments as cabin fever sets in, but the captain manages to restore order just long enough for the crew to watch a sobering news broadcast from Earth. On screen, a conspiracy theorist warns that the Shepard accelerator is a dangerous gamble with reality. Firing an energy beam 1,000 times more powerful than previous tests could rip a catastrophic hole in the fabric of spacetime, colliding dimensions and unleashing extra-dimensional monsters upon Earth. Brushing the warning aside out of sheer desperation, the crew fires up the accelerator once more. This time, against all odds, it initially appears to be a total triumph. The Shepard particle stabilizes, a blinding light fills the chamber, and celebration erupts throughout the control room. But the euphoria is instantaneously shattered. The system suffers a catastrophic energy overload, primary power grids blow, fires erupt, and a violent shockwave bends gravity itself. When auxiliary power is finally restored, Ava checks the navigation monitors. Her blood runs cold. The telemetry maps are completely empty. Earth has entirely disappeared. The crew descends into panic, scrambling through the damaged corridors to repair their broken systems, only to realize their entire external navigation array has physically vanished from the hull. Their confusion turns to pure terror when agonizing, blood-curdling screams echo from deep within the maintenance walls. Tearing open a heavy metal panel, they find a woman, Mina Jensen, horribly and impossibly fused directly inside the station's complex electrical wiring, with cables running under her skin. As they cut her free, the woman looks at Ava and calls her by name, though Ava has never seen her before in her life. The captain orders her taken to the medical bay. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Michael is shaken awake by a deafening explosion. Looking out his window, he sees an apocalyptic scene of chaos and massive fires tearing through the city skyline. Up on the isolated space station, the laws of physics begin to completely unravel. Ordinary objects move on their own, and a crew member named Volkov begins acting violently. Possessed, his left eye moving independently. After attempting to attack the crew with a 3D printed plastic gun, his body freezes. A thick white foam pours from his mouth, and he collapses. In the medical bay, a swarm of living worms suddenly erupts from his mouth, and his body explodes outward in a horrific, fatal display. Shortly after, the mysterious woman in the medical bay regains consciousness. She introduces herself as Mina Jensen and speaks to Ava as if they are old friends, claiming she has been the lead engineer on this very station for 2 years while Ava chose to stay on Earth. When Ava counters that she has been the one stationed there, Mina becomes deeply confused. She frantically grabs Ava and whispers a chilling warning, "Do not trust Schmidt. It is because of his sabotage that the Shepard keeps failing." The captain, unwilling to take chances amidst the mounting paranoia, locks Schmidt away in a secure holding room despite his frantic pleas of innocence. Back on Earth, Michael drives through the shattered, debris-strewn streets. A friend from military command calls to tell him the Cloverfield station has vanished from radar. Suddenly, Michael stops his car. Looming through the dust and smoke is the colossal silhouette of a mountainous, multi-limbed monster. Hearing a cry for help from the rubble, he rescues a terrified little girl and flees with her to an underground bunker. In space, the nightmares continue to escalate. While fixing a damaged wall panel, a technician named Mundy has his arm violently sucked into the structure. The crew pulls him free, only to find his right arm has been cleanly, bloodlessly severed at the shoulder. Amazingly, Mundy feels no pain. Later, Schmidt hears a frantic tapping at his door. Mundy's severed arm is independently crawling across the floor like a spider. The crew traps the hand, and realizing it wants to write, they hand it a pen. It scribbles a precise, bizarre command: cut open Volkov's body. Desperate for answers, they slice into the dead crewman's stomach and pull out their missing navigation device, which had been impossibly swallowed. They plug the device back into the main console, lock onto a signal, and intercept a television broadcast from the planet below. The news anchor reports that the Cloverfield space station just suffered a catastrophic failure and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. The station's physicist finally deduces the impossible truth: the Shepard overload tore a rift in reality, casting their station into an alternate dimension. This parallel universe has its own Earth, and Mina is from this timeline where her station crashed. To get home, they must fix the accelerator and fire it again. The alternate universe actively resists them. A freak malfunction floods a filtration room, freezing a female crew member solid in an instant. Working frantically to prepare for the jump home, Mina shows Ava a video log of the alternate Earth, revealing that in this timeline, Ava's children are still alive. Overwhelmed by grief and a desire for redemption, Ava decides she wants to stay behind in this universe to save her children from the impending house fire. She convinces the captain to let her take an escape pod down to the surface when the time comes. But the universe isn't done killing. A massive magnetic surge near the accelerator triggers an explosion, vaporizing Mundy. The blast cripples a section of the station, threatening to tear the whole structure apart. To save the remaining crew, the captain locks himself inside the malfunctioning ring, manually sealing the doors from the inside before ejecting the damaged section into the cold void of space, sacrificing his life. With only Ava, Schmidt, and Mina left, Ava prepares to board the escape pod. But as her back is turned, Mina strikes, knocking Ava unconscious with a heavy tool. Mina's true, desperate plan is laid bare. Her own Earth is dying from the energy crisis, and because her station crashed, she intends to hijack this intact station to save her world, even if it means killing the remaining crew. Leaving Ava, Mina takes a gun to hunt down Schmidt. Ava regains consciousness just in time and sprints to the control room to distract Mina. A brutal hand-to-hand fight breaks out. Schmidt is shot in the struggle, but Ava manages to shatter the airlock window. The violent decompression vacuums Mina out into the void of space. Ava seals the breach and tends to Schmidt's wounds. Realizing she belongs in her own reality, she abandons her plan to stay. Before initiating the dimensional jump, she transmits a video message to the alternate Earth containing the blueprints for the accelerator and a warning to her alternate self about the faulty battery that causes the fire, hoping to save the children in this timeline. Ava and Schmidt pull the lever, launching the station back through the rift into their original universe. The mission is a triumph, the particle is stable, and Earth's energy crisis is solved forever. Mission Control instructs the survivors to board a re-entry capsule and return home. Down in the bunker, Michael gets the call that his wife is landing. But instead of celebrating, Michael panics, screaming frantically into the phone, "Tell them to abort. Do not let them come back." His warning comes too late. As the capsule drops through the clouds, a gargantuan alien monster punches through the atmosphere, letting out a deafening roar. The scientist's warning was correct. The paradox had opened the doors of reality, and the monsters had already claimed the Earth.